Hello friends, welcome to the world of industrial safety management. Now we are going to have discourse 4, which is part 4 of the 4 parts of the topic awareness of safety. Here we are going to discuss about principles and essence of safety. Now we have seen in the last discourse how accident takes place and what are the consequences. Now we will try to understand why the accidents are to be prevented. It's a very common sense. The accident definition itself says that it is as unintended, unplanned event which results into death, injury or damage to the property or damage to the environment. So definition of the accident itself convinces us that the accidents are to be prevented because the accident cause deaths and injuries. Now we have seen that victim suffers, but at the same time the family of victim also suffer. They have to undergo traumatic conditions, maybe due to loss of a sole breadwinner or his or her inability to work due to permanent disability. So friends, the accident can be an one-way ticket to retirement with disability. It is very sad. Now, the victim suffers, his family suffers, but management also suffers. So management suffers huge losses because of the damage to the property. The building may collapse or some part of the building may collapse, or the machinery is to be repaired, heavy repairing is required, raw material is damaged, the new production which is produced, that is damaged. So there is a production loss because of the stoppage of the machines, the plant, there is a wastage, and sometimes there may be a loss of a trained worker. See, trained workers are very precious. It's not easy to have a trained worker. You have to groom them, you have to train them. And if you lose a trained worker, the management suffers. Now management has to incur the medical expenditure because somebody is injured, is admitted to the hospital. So all the medical expenditure has to be done by the management. So there are various direct and indirect losses. Not only the victim, not only the family, not only the management, but the society at large also suffers. Because sometimes the accidents may culminate into the environmental degradation. You know the accident of Bhopal. You know that Bhopal gas tragedy. And there is a huge burden of insurance. Ultimately, the insurance money is the public money. So financially also the society suffers. So what are the principles or axioms of safety? You must understand, you must get convinced that every life is precious and must be saved. It is not the case that the life of a worker is not precious and the life of the manager is precious. Everybody's life is precious and you must save it. Secondly, all injuries, accident and occupational diseases are preventable. It is not the case that they are non-preventable. It is not the case that a person meets with an accident because he has got a bad luck or it is written in his fate. No. Accident are happened because of somebody's mistakes, somebody's errors. And if you avoid those errors, you can also prevent the accidents. So mind well that all accidents are preventable. A very convincing argument. Now, providing safe work environment is the responsibility of the management. So managers or the management, they are the guardians, they are the patrons of the employees, and therefore they must see that their people, their employees work in a safe environment. They do everything to create that safe environment. They do everything to prevent the accident. So it is their duty. They are duty bound. Now, what is the duty of the workers? That following all safety rules and procedures of the organization is the responsibility of the employees. So it is always two-way. It's not the case that is only responsibility of management, it is the responsibility of the employees also. Because there are certain rules, certain procedures, and they have to follow it. If they don't follow it, then they will commit with the accidents. Next, safety is everyone's responsibility. It is not the responsibility of only workers or only managers or only supervisors. All the stakeholders have their own responsibilities. So everyone is responsible for safety. You have to consider that you should get convinced that safety starts with me. You need not see that what is somebody is doing or what your core worker is doing, what your supervisor is doing, whether he is following the safety rules or not. So if he is not following, I will not follow. That should not be the attitude. Because you must consider that safety is my responsibility, and as the charity begins at home, safety starts with you. Now, safety is essentially a teamwork. All the workers, supervisors, managers, HODs, all combined together, they have to think, they have to act in unison as a team if they want to achieve safety goals. And you should always keep on thinking that how this way I can work safely. What is the safest way of doing something? So these are the important principles or axioms of safety. Now, what is the essence of safety? Safety is the responsibility of all stakeholders. As I said, it is the responsibility of the management, supervisors, managers, workers, and so on. Even it is the responsibility of the society, because society should create a safe culture. Safety is not a separate action, but an integration of safety element in whatever you do. So it is not something different. So when you make a coffee, you don't eat coffee separately, you don't take sugar separately and then milk separately. You have to mix it. So sugar is inseparable from coffee. The same way safety is inseparable from your actions. Your actions must be safe. So it means that every action is to be done safely. Safety is not protecting only yourself, but it also protecting others. You have to consider your co-workers' safety also. We must be conscious about our every action. That whatever I am doing, whether I am doing it properly or not, whether I am doing it safely or not. And you have to see that it does not cause any harm to others. It is also important to look into proximate cause, underlying cause, and especially the root cause and try to eliminate it. In majority of the cases, the root cause stems from the human behavior like negligence, carelessness, I know everything attitude, impatience, forgetfulness, greed, envy, to find shortcuts, very importantly. Finding the shortcuts leads you to unsafe acts. We have seen all other improper attitudes in our previous discourse. The shortcuts in turn create unsafe conditions, ultimately leading to accidents and injuries. Now, why you have to follow the safety? Very simple. There are a lot of benefits. What are the benefits? Reduce loss of life and limbs. People are saved. Reduce lost time, because you lost production time. Then there is a loss of time in investigation. There is a production downtime. There is a reduced loss of property, because there is no accident, there will be no loss to the property, no loss to the raw material, plant and machinery. Reduce medical expenses and forced leave. Because of the accident, there are medical expenses incurred by the management, and the worker has to go on a forced leave for say for a month or 2 months, maybe more. Reduce loss of skilled workers, because if some skilled worker meet an accident, he may be absent for say a longer period or maybe permanently. Reduce potential prosecution and other enforcement action by enforcing authority. So you may come under the scanner of legal authorities, and then there may be cases. They may slap notices on you and ask for the explanations, and there may be the case that you are prosecuted and you are punished. Then if repeated accident happens, the morale of the employees goes down, the image of the employer goes down. If the accidents are not there, your image gets improved, the morale of the employees get improved. Now we will try to understand. We have understood what is safety, how the accident cause, why there is need to prevent accident. So what is the basic thing which is required at the workplace? Let us look into it in a very short manner. First is machinery safety. That means you must maintain the machine properly. There should be proper guarding, and if the machine is making noise, there has to be acoustic. There should be enclosures. When you say electrical safety, there should be proper wiring, proper cabling. The panels should be constructed or designed properly. There has to be adequate earthing. The fuses should be of the proper size. For fire safety, there may be proper storage and handling of the flammables. There has to be adequate number of fire extinguisher of adequate size and type. There has to be adequate hydrant system throughout the workplace. There has to be sprinkler at the required places like storages. There has to be smoke detectors, alarms, etc., etc. For the control of physical hazards such as noise, heat, radiation, and control of environmental factors such as ventilation and illumination. So you have to do a lot of things to reduce the noise, to reduce the heat, and so on. And there is a planning of emergencies. See, fire, explosion, these are the emergencies. And so you must have a proper planning how to face fire, how to face the explosion, and any other emergencies, any other eventualities. So you must train your worker for the first aid. There must be training for evacuation and rescue. Very importantly, there has to be establishment of safety management system and safe system of work. We'll look into it afterwards. There has to be a safety propaganda. That means there is a safety poster all around the workplace, warning signs, work instructions at every workstation, continuous safety training. You must provide the PPE, that is personal protective equipments, adequately and mandatory, which is required. There has to be authorization for the work. There has to be work permit regime. Very importantly, everybody must participate in safety programs. They must, take part in the safety committees and all other programs which are conducted by the management to promote safety. So to stop accident, it is essential to establish safety culture at the workplace. We will look into and discuss about safety culture at the appropriate time. So if you want to achieve the safety goals, if you want to go towards safety, the first step is to establish and create a occupational health and safety policy. That safety policy shows the management commitment towards safety. We will discuss the safety policy separately. Second step is to establish a safety management system, and you have to take the following steps like identification of the hazard. You have to stop the hazard, you have to assess the risk, you have to fix the problem, take the corrective action, and evaluate after taking the corrective action whether the action is correct and whether you have reduced the risk, whether you have brought the risk into the limits. The third step is that you have to imbibe safety culture all around your workplace at all levels, means from managers to the workers to the helpers. That can happen due to proper training, continuous training, mentoring, establishing procedures, rules, motivating people, and so on. Fourthly, you have to lead by example. Because if you are a manager, you are asking others to follow the safety rules and procedure and you yourself is not following it. So it is a bad example. Because employees observe you. So you always should lead by example if you are a manager. Then you have to continuously review by inspections and audits and see that whether the safety management system is operating successfully or giving results. If you find that it is not giving results, then there is a need to update it. So for that you must review it continuously with the help of inspections and audits. So lastly, it is said that not failure but low aim is a crime. This is a say, it's a proverb. But in case of safety, we have to say that even failure is also a crime along with the low aim. Not only low aim is a crime, but even failure is a crime. Because as the price of failures and low aim we have to pay is very high in case of accidents. So always have zero accidents as your aim. Do not fail to say yes to safety and to live safely. So friends, in this discourse we have seen what are the principles of safety and what is the essence of safety and what is to be done to achieve safety goals and establish safety management in your organization in a very short manner. So thank you for watching. You can resume viewing. You can switch on to the discourse 5, which deals with the subject hazard identification. So friends, we have completed a 4-part of the awareness about safety. So thank you very much. Please do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Once again, thank you.